advice and healed herself naturally, amassing millions of followers.
Belle Gibson. It's a truly remarkable story.
Apple Cider Vinegar, a new limited series on Netflix. Where is Belle Gibson now?
I was given 6 weeks to live. 4 months tops. That was 4 years ago. Human beings are capable of anything.
Tarantinoing a little bit, but let's get a little background about this person so you know kind of what we're talking about. Now, this is a limited series that was released on Netflix. It's not a documentary or anything like that. However, it is very close to the truth, and people always say, like, oh, I'd love to have a watch party with you. Unless you like someone who stops it every 5 to 10 minutes on average just to Google if this is real, what's going on, and what it turned out and what happened, maybe not. So first, let's start with the poster and the tagline and all of that. A true-ish story based on a lie. So this would be confusing. You're like, well, how much of the actual story that they put in here? So a lot of what the changes were was just changing names. One character is an amalgam, but it's to represent a lot of very, very real people. Not to mention they had to do that because of Baby Reindeer. This was a huge series that they did last year, but they flagged it as a true story and are now in a lawsuit with the person who was the subject of that series. Another important part that they clarified a lot in the series, but I want to clarify a lot here. Belle Gibson did not get any money for this. She did not get anything from them making this series. If she did, we wouldn't have been covering it. Now, Belle herself was in the business of selling false hope to the hopeless, something that I don't know how she never went to jail. Honestly, I don't get it. Spoiler.
Belle's fans describe feeling let down by the medical profession and follow every step of her journey as thousands of young women flock to alternative medicine.
I wanted to live, and I wanted to live well.
Belle had a somewhat meteoric rise to fame when she pretended that she had a very aggressive form of brain cancer that she cured through juicing and wellness and apple cider vinegar and snake oil and elephant bile, you know, all that stuff. She got an app in the Apple App Store. She was making a ton of money, blowing up on social media, wrote a cookbook, all kinds of stuff. It wasn't until
questions raised over healing Belle.
None of it real. Did she ever have cancer? Her life in ruin. Has Belle lost everything? Desperate and gone to ground.
Her vulnerable followers outraged and abandoned.
Begs the question, what sort of person pretends to have brain cancer?
That was a catch. She never cured anything because she never had anything, and she sold false hope, and who knows how many people are not here anymore because they took her advice. She also, on top of the horrible lies, kept money from fundraisers, including one fundraiser she actually started, initiated, approached this family so that she could have that, you know, virtue thing out in the world, and she actually kept the money. That young child ended up passing away, and who knows how many other people did because of her.
You know what? You can Google it.
Start with, where did the boyfriend slash husband that she pretends she's not with, even though they were together for like over a decade?
When asked about Clive Rothwell, the man she's been living with since 2015, she said he's just a friend. She claims he often pays the $600 a week rent for their Northcote home when she can't afford it.
Her inspiration to continue claiming that Clive was a friend is because they were asking about his income because they had lived together for so long, and he supported her through all of this, so his hands are not clean in this situation. However, reportedly, in November of 2023, he finally actually left, has a new girlfriend, and has moved on with his life.
It's been almost 2 years since she was found guilty of misleading and deceptive conduct and ordered to pay $410,000. Until now, Belle Gibson has thumbed her nose at authorities and ignored that fine.
Belle has been in continuous legal trouble since she was fined because she has not paid $1 of those settlements, and she was actively living with Clive for a very, very long time. They questioned her about his income, and that's where she came in, like, I have no idea. That's not my business. Then she says, I don't have any money. I'm living on benefits. I don't know what else to do, but...
Just 3 months ago, a current affair caught the Queen of Con returning from a luxury overseas holiday.
Don't you think it's more important to be paying back that fine rather than going on an overseas trip?
Gibson enjoyed a month in Kenya and Ethiopia with her 8-year-old son.
Belle, you've scammed the people of Australia. Don't you have anything to say?
Obviously, that's going to result in a lot of questions. So she goes back in court, still refuses to pay any of the fines. She has been raided twice since because they raided her house to take things to sell so that they could start paying back some of these things because she's refusing to move on it at all. The Ethiopian vacation is a really relevant part of this, which you wouldn't think. However, since all of that happened, people like this don't stop unless they are stopped, right? So she's leached herself to an entirely new community.
Our community, specifically the JASA of Melbourne, discuss the current situation back home. We covered the history of Abiy's position in Ethiopia.
So Belle gives out, actually she goes by Sabantu now, has leached herself to the Ethiopian community. She, in these interviews, you can see her trying to speak in like broken English, like it's not her first language. And she says some pretty wild stuff.
My involvement in the Oromo community has been for the last 4 years, and it started through volunteering, and then I became deeply invested in the community because I saw the character and the values of your people. And through the rights of the Oromo, I feel completely adopted by your nation and your people. And I feel like my heart is as invested as yours and your families. I see no difference in your struggle and the struggle that I have for fighting for the liberation of Oromia.
These groups cut ties with her in 2024, saying that they really didn't know who she was. And then when they found out, they were immediately like, no, thank you. However, in this, it's a little bit older interview, but she did this for years. She actually goes on to explain to them how they should go about their work.
Your struggle is my struggle.
No, it's not.
This is when the struggle is shared, it's lifted from you. And I see that with all of the people in the diaspora. If we share the struggle of the people back home, then that is lifted from them.
I'm not a scientist or a Keebler elf, no matter what you heard, slander. But if I was, my sociology brain would be broken by that level. If you're not familiar with this concept, you're like, oh, it seems like she's being like, no, she's not. She's being a savior. And she's like, no, I took this on for you so that you don't have to suffer anymore. I will do all the suffering for you. Yeah, that's not how that works. And effectively speaking over the population that you're like gonna help, this is communal narcissism. You guys should look that up if you don't know what it is, because it is rampant. She did that for several years until that community finally cut ties with her and were like, no, but like I said, they had to find out who she was. Other than that, what people know is she's running around somewhere in Melbourne, just really not caring about all of these fines, the lives that she destroyed, the things that she did, and she's just gonna move on to another community after this. But that was your update. Do you guys wanna cover this series? Because like, it was very interesting. I binged it in one day, but we can go through and compare fact from fiction, whatever, and I hope you have a great day.